Hey, welcome back everybody to my channel's Dark Card Review. Today, this is going to be a rather simple one. This will be the first that I'll do today. It's going to be just a quick and easy video on books that I recommend part one. Now, the reason for this is I haven't done quite a lot of stuff on books because I'm currently still reading quite a few to get through a few. I'm still reading my H.P. Lovecraft to get through, which is obviously taking up a lot of my time as well, and getting through some reviews for games as well. But this one is just a quick and easy one on books that I recommend. Some of these I read many years ago, which I've got to do a reread because I've forgotten what they're about. But some of the other ones that I do recommend, I have read as I was growing up, through primary school, middle school, high school. You get the gist of it. But before we get into it, thanks to everyone that is brand new that has clicked on my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in, and all the returning people. It means a lot to me that you guys are back. So no worries for that one. Thank you so much. And for all the new ones, don't forget to click like, subscribe, and the notification bell to keep up to date with everything that I've got coming out. Alrighty, let's get into it. Some of the recommendations that I recommend, I'm going to start with some that I read when I was growing up as a kid. And hands down, one of the number one ones that I grew up with was, during middle school, was Goosebumps. Goosebumps by Rl Stein. That is an amazing series. I know to get any of the... I don't have any of the original Goosebumps books, unfortunately. I got rid of all of mine during my teen years. So I don't have any of the original Goosebumps covers anymore, which I would love to get, but they're so friggin' fucking popular now that it's just becoming ridiculously expensive to consider buying them. But Goosebumps is definitely one by Rl Stein. Another series which is young adult to adult is a horror thriller series. Well, actually, I would classify it more as horror. Is all the Christopher Pike books, like Chain Letter and Chain Letter 2. Christopher Pike was a big one in high school that I used to read quite a lot. Just bits and pieces, certain ones of his books that were in the library when I was in high school at the time. So he's another, Christopher Pike is another one whose series was really awesome growing up. Other ones that I would recommend, anything by Clive Barker. Absolutely brilliant author, Clive Barker. Anything Stephen King. I've read Stephen King I've read some of his stuff back in the day, but a lot of it I've forgotten, so I'm reworking my way through some of it. I've not read Salem's Lot. I haven't got time to read Salem's Lot at the moment because as soon as I finish some of my H.P. Lovecraft books, which I highly recommend as well. H.P. Lovecraft is another one to anyone that's into cosmic horror. Absolutely, hands down H.P. Lovecraft. But Stephen King, I'm going to start reading his Dark Tower series because I've never read the Dark Tower series. So I'm going to be getting into that and watching that. Another one I recommend is Preston and Child. This is The Relic, and there's a movie based on this book by Preston and Child. Absolutely brilliant movie. I have done a review on that, which you should all check out. Oh, excuse me. Oh, a bit of indigestion there. I will put that up on the screen. I did a review for the movie The Relic, but I've got both Preston and Child's Relic and then the sequel to it, Reliquary. I haven't had a chance to read them yet, but I will. But I recommend Preston and Child because I've read some other Preston and Child. So I highly recommend that. Anything Anne Rice as well. I read Interview with the Vampire many years ago. Forgotten all of it now, obviously. But I've not read too much of Anne Rice, but I recommend Anne Rice because she's an absolutely amazing author as well. Anything Ellen Dean Foster, he is absolutely goddamn amazing when it comes to books. I like his novels based on movies. I've got, which will be in another video down the track, of my Alien collection from my actual Alien, from the Alien movies from 1979. He did a tie-in, he did a novel to the novelization to the original Alien by Ridley Scott, and that added so much more depth and layer to it. But the reason why I'm waiting until the next video down the track is because that one I've actually got signed by Ellen Dean Foster. I happened to find it signed by the author at a thrift store, a really awesome thrift store bookstore. So I've now got my hands on that, but he has also done the novelization to Aliens 1986. He did a novelization to Alien 3. He's done novelizations to Star Wars, ties in with Star Wars and all of that, and he's done some fresh other stuff as well that is his own. But yes, Ellen Dean Foster, I would say absolutely anything Ellen Dean Foster is absolutely hands down amazing. Another one of his that was really, really good that I thought was brilliant is the Alien Covenant novelization, because it added more depth that you didn't see in the movie and the book. The novelization to that was absolutely amazing. Who else do I recommend? Brian Lumley, absolutely amazing. His books, the Necroscope series. Now I've only, they're very, very popular books. I got into it like many years ago and then stopped, and then had the collection of Necroscope stuff, but then I moved on to the stuff that he was, his H.P. Lovecraft mythos stuff that was adding to all of H.P. Lovecraft stuff. So I never got a chance to finish all of the Necroscope series, but Brian Lumley is absolutely amazing author as well. Who else can I recommend? I don't do very many, I tend to stick with science fiction, horror. I haven't really, I've said some of the big names already. Rl Stein was obviously one that I grew up with, so Stephen King, all of them. So that's just a few recommendations. I do have some more stuff which will come up in part 2 of some of the other authors that I recommend that are separate from, because they're a hodgepodge of comedy, drama, thriller, but this is just part 1. But those are the major ones, definitely. But I will go through more in depth, not in depth, but recommend some more in part 2 of books I recommend. But this is just part 1 down. But I will do a part 2 probably tomorrow. I'll do a part 2 tomorrow because I've got to get together some of the books that I'm going to discuss for part 2, which I have read, because that will include manga as well. Some of my favorite manga that I've read, which will be included in part 2. But other than that, thanks for tuning into part 1. This is part 1 down. Part 2 will come tomorrow, but I've got another video coming, another review that I have got, which, so coincidentally, is I'm reviewing 3 books from the Alien series, which I will get out as soon as I can. Alright, thanks for tuning in, guys. Bye.